The country of China is regarded as a technological superpower by most countries today, with giant urban centers such as Shanghai and Beijing, with massive trade centers and skyscrapers that stretch as high as the clouds themselves. However, none of these would have even existed if the internet had not been introduced to the intelligent minds of the Chinese people and become widespread. This is the story of how the working class of China were able to access the internet in the 1990s and 2000s. The Chinese Internet Cafe. Let's start by flashing back to 1989. The World Wide Web has just been introduced in Europe. As an uncommercial, relatively unknown information system throughout the area, Eastern countries, such as China, were barely able to get a glimpse at it. Access was extremely expensive, limited, and even if you got a hold of an internet browser, the information presented was minimal at the time. However, in 1995, the internet was opened up to the general public in Shanghai and Beijing. Despite so, due to the outrageous cost of internet surfing and the relatively low incomes at the time, a majority of the common public were unable to afford access to the internet. Thus, the internet was only ever available to wealthy families, until the rise of internet cafes occurred in China. This is the first official internet cafe in China, opened in 1996 in Beijing. Known as a Wǎngbā in Chinese, it provided both internet access and coffee to students, with a price of 15 RMB per hour, which is still outrageously expensive by their standards. However, with the mass openings of more and more internet cafes all over China by wealthy people, the price quickly lowered to only about 4 yuan per hour maximum, which naturally attracted flocks of students to these cafes. Over time, more and more of the Chinese working class were able to afford access to the internet, resulting in a mass growth of Chinese internet users.
我那时候16岁吧，16、17岁吧。被同学带过去没？那时候同学带过去，因为同学有时候在那里，过去经常一起去玩，那我有时候就跟着去了，跟着去玩几下没，感觉又有意思了。
The popularity of internet cafes continued to skyrocket until a terrible tragedy in Beijing scarred the reputation of the Chinese internet cafe forever. It was 2002 at 3 a.m. when suddenly the Beijing Lanjisu Internet Cafe went up in flames. 25 innocent young people, mostly university students, lost their life in that fateful night. It was then found that this fire was a planned arson by two 13 and 14-year-olds after a dispute with the cafe owner. After this horrific incident, thousands and thousands of internet cafes started to close in Beijing.
当时父母也不喜欢我去网吧，那时候也很反对的。以前在我们家里旁边有个网吧，小区里面的呢，大家伙都不让小孩去上网呗，那后面网吧也开不下去了。
Not only were internet cafes seen as threats and dangerous to society, the internet itself developed a stigma that would never fully recover in Chinese society. Looking back from the now rapidly developing China, there is no doubt that the internet cafe aided this growth significantly by introducing the internet to China's working class. Despite internet cafes being viewed as obsolete nowadays, they were pioneers in the development of technology in China, and no matter how scarred their reputation was at the end of their golden age, the revolutionary Wǎngbā will never be forgotten in the minds of the Chinese people.